right. Welcome to the Spoiler King. My name's Tankcramer. I am with Will.
Yo.
Oh man, what is up, man? So we got our fancy we're in the ghetto in the Cabrini Green areas.
You know what it is, dog.
Yeah.
You in the hood now, baby.
Yeah. So real quick, thanks Judge Judy Slayer for following us over on Twitch. Appreciate that.
Thank you for that. Yes, definitely.
I wonder where she got her name from. Loki. But yeah, man. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Today was actually nice. It was my son's first day in kindergarten.
Oh, yeah.
So that was a nice day to kind of get open to uncomfortable beginnings. He luckily wasn't one of the kids that cried going to school. He was happy to be left alone and with the new teacher, so he was cool about it.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah,
this is his first time going to school, or he's going
it's
back?
His first time going back to school for kindergarten. He did pre-K e-learning at home, so via the Zoom call or whatever, and then he got especially picked to go in-person learning. Still pre-K, but then now this year everyone went back, so everyone's a little bit on edge, a little bit nervous.
Yeah, everyone's a little like side-eyeing each other.
Of course. But yeah,
cool, man.
Things good. How you doing, man?
Say, what's more scary, seeing your kid go to school, or seeing Candyman?
Bro,
well, one's more of a sad scary. The other one's more of a like
really
I'm gonna
scary.
die scary. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, man. I'm not the type to kind of like play around with those kind of games. Like I have messed with a Ouija board, and that's super borderline. But saying Candyman's name 5 times, nah, I don't think you'll catch me doing
that. Yeah, seriously. So before we get into the trailer and stuff like that, I had a few things I wanted to ask you real quick.
Yes.
What would you consider this a sequel or a complete reboot?
I would consider this a sequel. It's a continuation of the stories that kind of went on before. They make even past allusions or references to the first movies. They even make references to the first characters in the first movies. If they would have never been addressed, then you could argue that this film is like a reboot. Yeah. Reason why I see why you're asking that question. Spoiler alert, we are the Spoiler Kings. We kind of let you know everything that's going on. But we notice, the making of, another Candyman. Now, it's pretty controversial. Is it a reboot? Is it a continuation? I think it's a continuation just because of the references made in the movie.
Yeah.
To previous characters.
I feel the same way. I feel like, it is a reboot, or it is a continuation, but it also kind of is a soft reboot into the newer time. I don't know how you want to do that, but I would definitely consider it a sequel too, because that's one thing I was looking at before I went to go see it. I was like, is this a reboot or is this a sequel? And I couldn't get any info from anybody what it was. But I would definitely consider this more of a sequel, or maybe not a sequel, maybe a continuation, like what you said. I think that explains it better, because it's not a sequel to the original ones. It's more of a continuation of the story. I don't know if that makes any sense, but yeah.
No, it does, because you kind of have to ask yourself, like, wait, were previous characters used in this movie? And we'll answer that question later on. But for the most part, no. These are all brand new characters. It seems like a reboot just because of the fact that you have new faces that we're seeing to the storyline. But then again, if you were to label this one a reboot, then someone could very vaguely compare the last Scream movie to being a reboot, because they had damn near all new characters. They had Sidney Prescott. They had one of the main characters. A couple main characters come back, but that's because they're their favorites, right? But that's kind of whole new venture, whole new storyline, even though it's using some of the same old stuff. Oh yay, Chicago Made Punk. Love the movie. Thank you.
Yes.
This movie
OMG, I loved it.
Right.
So yeah,
Thank you for catching
yeah,
us.
we'll I'll bring that up when we get into our ratings of it. Um, but yeah, man, that was the one thing I wanted to ask before we really get into it was like, what kind of movie is this? Um, but cool. But yeah, I think we're on the same page. We both consider it a sequel in a sense.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sequel is a tough one to use. Continuation, I
yeah.
say continuation. Sequels, the same thing. I don't know. I hate the holes. Oh, if
I
you
hated
have
the holes.
trypophobia, it is the
Oh
fear
yeah.
of holes. Watch out while watching this one. Spoiler alert.
I
If you
you know
don't
I
like
didn't even think about that, but that
heights,
is very true. Yeah,
yeah, man. At one point, we'll talk about it in a bit, but we
yeah,
see like something right here, and it's like,
yeah,
whoa,
yeah.
holes.
Oh, the beehive thingy. Yeah,
Yeah,
we're getting to all that. Um, cool, man. You want to do the synopsis real quick, like a quick breakdown of what the movie is about, and we'll
sure.
watch some of the trailer.
Yes, yes. So if you're watching this at home, watching us live, you'll get to watch the trailer with us. But once we kind of re-upload this video again for public seeing, we're gonna kind of edit out the video just for copyright reasons.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
feel
So if you
free
want to
to,
watch the trailer with us,
yeah, come
that's
watch
the
us
thing.
live every Monday night, 8 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
And outfit. Um, that's important because Candyman is not just one single individual. He's like an idea almost. He's almost like Batman, but like the villain.
Kind of, yeah,
Because it's been more
yeah, yeah.
crazy
I can
stuff,
feel that
man.
part. Yeah, yeah. It's definitely kind of changes. Like I want to go back and watch the original one now. I don't think I ever went back and watched it because that was one movie that scared the shit out of me. One, it's
Yeah,
based in Chicago. It's based in
yeah.
Chicago. Um, and it was based in the area that I didn't live that far from. So,
Mm.
you know, because Cabrini
It's
Green is like I said, it's right down one of a major street in Chicago, on Chicago Avenue, right off of it. And I didn't live that far from it, from Chicago
mm,
Avenue. Like I was telling you before the show, I pass
yeah.
this thing like all the time. Anytime you want to go to Navy Pier, downtown, kind of go to the lake, we just drove on our bikes right past Cabrini Green, So yeah,
It's a sight to see. I know we can't see too much what's behind you, but you see the overgrown grass. You see things that are not taken care of. It's a part of the neighborhood where the Illinois government has just put the ghetto where they've wanted to be. They kind of have this control over where they move the ghetto. And the ghetto used to be over here until it got gentrified, until property value went down, and then you get um, until you get these rich white investors, and then they
yeah.
start buying up, and not even white. That's not fair. You get rich investors
Yeah,
that
it's kind of like yuppie
yeah,
hipster kind of people.
exactly,
I'm
yeah,
I'm not even gonna lie.
they come in all
Majority
different
of
kind
them
of
are gonna
colors.
be white, but yeah, it's gonna be any kind of colors.
And then they create, instead of these these giant towers that used to be there, now you get these giant looking, I can't see it, but right behind you you get these big condos. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
which is
It's
basically
really,
so what's behind you is considered a project, and
yes,
what's behind me here, I'm trying to figure out here, that's a condo. So it's like one's for poor people, the ghetto, and one's for rich
yeah,
people, but they're basically the same thing. Cram as many people into one spot as possible. you know.
yeah.
So, but real quick, even Chicago Made Punk, I've been there so many times during my Uber days. So
Hmm.
yeah, I mean it's hard. It's right in between like Division and Chicago. Is that Division? Yeah. Um. So it's in a weird spot where it's like if you want to go downtown, you kind of pass by it. You know. You know.
True, Chicago has. They'll know about this area.
Yeah.
My
Yeah.
friend, my wife, she's considered the map. She knows this area a lot. She's been around here. I back when I was in high school with my boy Eric. He used to be like a big Chicago head. He likes, you know. Driving everywhere and using all the CTA trains and buses, and a couple times I think we might have ended up around here, man. And
Yeah.
it's a different sight to see, plus 25 years ago compared to today.
Oh
So
yeah,
if
it
you go
is.
walk by today, you'll be all right. Back then, if you were, not with the shits, you gotta, kind of be wide eyed and watch your back. That's for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, yeah. The whole place kind of changing, which is something that they talk about in the movie, which I find kind of interesting because it was like the original Candyman, the greeny green, kind of like in the ghetto, kind of right there in the project. Um,
Mm.
this one is like same area, different vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And I was wondering if they would play into that because especially Jordan Peele directed it, and he does a lot of these
executive
social
producer. Yeah.
horror films kind of thing.
Yeah.
He didn't direct it?
No, it was actually a woman, not a big name, or not a big name to me at least.
Okay.
Let's see, directed by Nia DaCosta. Jordan Peele did the screenplay. He executive produced, and he was just all over just the creation of this thing. But direction of how, I don't know, the movie looked was Nia DaCosta, which
Okay.
you can't put a face to her. Oh, I see her
Yeah.
now. Ah, that's
Here you
dope.
go. 6 hours ago, right here, before we
Oh,
get
right.
into like I know the movie. She becomes the first #1 film directed by a black woman.
Snap.
Pretty awesome. You know,
Hell yeah, that's
that's
dope.
insane. That's legit insane. That Nia DaCosta Candyman becomes first #1 film directed by a black. That's that's crazy.
Right?
That's crazy.
It should have happened a long time ago. We've had amazing storytellers and story writers and possible directors from back in the day, but they
Yeah.
just, I don't know, people of color and just women in general just have it
Yeah.
tough when trying to succeed in the entertainment world,
Yeah.
unless they're being, you know,
Yeah. But
exploited.
it's kind of cool, like Jordan Peele, because he could have easily directed it. You know, it seemed
Oh
like
yeah.
like you said, he was all over it too, and he just kind of gave it to somebody else. He goes, "Here's the keys to the car,
Hmm.
drive it home." You know, and she she nailed it. So real quick. So Chicago Made Punk said, when I was dropping off people around those condos, some would say they just moved in and and so I would tell them how the area used to be bad and that they made Candyman over here. Yeah. They
They
stayed
stayed
silent for
silent,
the rest of the trip. Like,
clutching their
hmm.
purses extra.
All right. Yeah. So there's another thing. I know Brian and Marvin, whenever they saw this on the schedule, and they, we promote each other at the end of every show, and
Oh yeah.
they saw the name of they wouldn't say the name, but I'm like, can you could say it without looking in a mirror, right? Does that count? I don't know the details of the rules, but they
So I
wouldn't
feel
even say
like
the name
I
because they
wouldn't
were
do
so
it
afraid of
because imagine there's a reflection in the room. Like, and
right.
okay, for example, in the damn art show, right? There's an art show that happens in the movie.
There
They
you
use
go. There's
mirrors
Brian.
or reflective
Nope,
mirrors
still
and
won't.
still exactly. That's what's up. You just don't do it, man. You just don't say that
Yeah,
name.
but yeah. You're talking about the mirror. That was a cool. You're talking about like the first murder scene, the first
Yes,
Candyman scene in it. Yeah,
yes.
yeah,
Want
yeah.
to talk about these
That
murder
one was
scenes, man?
yeah. The first one really got me.
Thanks.
Because that came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I
That
didn't
came out of
expect it.
nowhere. It was just like they were like right. They were about to like what have sex, I think, or get
Mhm.
down, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden, like this I'm like, wait, what? And I was
Yeah.
like, damn, that's something I want to like rewatch and hit replay, because I could have swore I saw Candyman in the mirror,
Mm,
like I get the actual character in the mirror, and like he did it to her in the mirror, but
yes.
outside the mirror, it just like her throat just got cut. So
Yes.
I was like, did that happen or did I imagine it? Because they were playing a movie in the background and it was mirrored, so there's a lot of reflections and shit. So it was just like, it was oh man, it was like, but those little things, I was like, did you see it or did you not see it?
Ooh.
It was like, oh man, it's so that was good.
The
I
use
know.
my favorite thing, and I'm sure you'll probably agree with me too. the use of mirrors and reflections in this film. You reflect on yourself, poetically. You reflect on the past. You reflect literally with the mirrors and all this stuff, and it gets a little crazy. The screenwriting in this was nuts. Like, it was well thought out, and so many times you're like, oh man, like, did they do that on purpose? Yeah,
Yeah.
probably did.
Yeah.
But what were your most favorite things? Did you have a favorite kill scene?
Oh yeah, the condo scene when it's pulling out from the condo,
Okay.
where
Oh
he just left the
yes,
room, where he
yes,
left
dude.
he freaked out and he left, and he left his friend woman, not his girlfriend. It was like just a friend, I think, right? It was like
Is it
just
a
a lady friend.
networking friend?
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
And he was making fun of her, like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. You go do it right now. And she
There
left the
you go.
room, or she was going to the washroom or something. And then like when she came back, he had got some news, and he took off real quick. And then as he's taking off, she's like standing there, and then you see, and the camera's zooming out, so you see the window, and it just
Yep.
keeps zooming out, and you just see all this like she gets lifted up, slam into the glass, the blood everywhere. I was like, that was so well done, because it's
Oh
like you
yeah.
see everyone else in the building, and it's a very like traditional kind of camera thing that like, oh, here's
Yes.
all the other people living in this one little building, but
Right.
she's getting killed horrifically. It's like by an invisible man, which was insane.
Mm.
Which was insane. Oh, another thing Brian said, he goes, I thought it was 3 times, not 5 times.
It's always
In
been
the
five.
original, even in the original,
Yeah, I want to say it's been
yeah.
5 times. Yeah.
I'm like, I want to watch the original now.
So part two, I just I know you mentioned, like, man, since watching this film you want to watch the old ones too, and I totally got that vibe as well.
Yeah.
I didn't watch the first one. I didn't rewatch the first one. I was like, you know what, I know what happens. I think I'm good. Low key, I'm just hiding behind my covers. But I don't remember too much of what happened in the second one with Helen, whatever her name is, or I don't know,
Yeah,
the original main character.
Ellen Light.
Yeah, something like that. But I wanted to watch what happened there because her story is pretty cool. You know,
Yeah.
she's dope within herself. I'm glad she gets referenced in this movie.
Mhm.
The baby she saves. Want to say it? The baby that she saves in
Yeah,
the original
spoilers.
Candyman.
Yeah.
This time.
Yeah. So you want to? Yeah, go for it, man. We're just spoilers.
So the official baby that she saved in the first Candyman's in the it was a 90s movie. Anyways, got saved, right? And she burned in the fire that fire that was going on in Cabrini Green. And that baby grew up and turns out to be the main character in this film. That's the big kicker. We find that out kind of early on because they keep showing these nice little like characters that are like black and white. You see like a white screen, you see the black characters
Yeah.
of what's going
Like
on. And this
like a puppet show, like a shadow
puppeteer.
puppet show. Yeah.
Yes. And it was very artistic and very cool.
Yeah. I thought that
But
was super cool.
a bunch of times that they use that tool to kind of show off what happened in the past, background wise, without having to use too much budget, I guess, because it's so easy to do that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. But I liked it though. I thought it just kind of it gave a scary kind of vibe. It was probably like it was pretty cheap to do and stuff like that. But for me, it is like it just had a very scary vibe because like you said, they used that anytime they told a backstory. So when they told Helen's backstory, they had that. When they showed the Candyman from the 90s story, they had that. The original Candyman from 1890, they used it as well. So that was kind of interesting. And that's why I'm like, I don't remember it being like that. I don't remember that there was a Candyman in the 1890s and it became like a thing that got passed down. Like you said, like kind of like a Batman thing, like who's wearing the cape now, kind of thing.
Right.
But yeah, I want to watch that again just to see if like did they add more backstory to our
they did say 5 times, so it
right there.
If you'd be consistent with a Candyman 1 and 2, I would imagine you would have kept it 5 first time around. But who knows, man? Who knows?
Yeah, I'm sure that's a detail that they did not miss. But it's just like, like that the whole thing where you think you saw something, or what was it called? Was
The
it
Mandela effect.
Mandela effect? There you go.
Yeah, the Mandela effect is pretty
Yeah,
interesting, which I'd love to talk about that another time. The goddamn Sinbad movie. That's the first thing I want to talk about.
Shazam or Kazam,
I think Shazam.
Shazam or something stupid like that.
If anyone saw that movie, you let me know. You let me know in the comments.
I thought I saw it. I was like, wasn't that? I thought I saw something. I don't know, but that's a whole nother discussion, man. You need to come on a Thursday show. We'll talk about that all day.
Oh, I know. Fuck, I need to come.
But all the shit that you kind of remember. Yeah, but I don't know what was this one of your favorite kill scenes?
I think my favorite kill scene had to have been, let's see. Oof. So many good ones. Oh, by far. And this is kind of dipping into the end of the movie. But like I said, with this movie, it was kind of like a justice or social justice kind of movie, civil rights, kind of movie. Has a lot of same themes. And so towards the end of the movie, the girlfriend, right? Her name is Brianna Cartwright. Yeah, Brianna. She gets locked up, right? She gets kind of blamed low key for some murders that went down that were actually done by Candyman. Now, which Candyman? It's kind of hard to say. That's kind of left up for interpretation, right? So when she's in the back of this little squad car, she was supposed to get rescued. She wasn't supposed to be locked up and been behind in the back seat. She was supposed to be rescued and put in the front seat. But because she's a person of color, she gets treated like such, so bad, less than a person, which has been the constant theme that's been kind of, put out in this film. So while she's back there, right, and she's like, man, like I'm either gonna die, I'm either gonna have just the worst time and get blamed for everything, because even one of the cops threatened her with that. So she does the unthinkable, right, and she says Candyman's name 5 times. I'm not gonna say it, but I know that he does. I know that she does. And when she does, all the little cut scenes to when like all the cops that kind of got on the scene, they all got freaking gutted, bro. That was my favorite. That was my favorite, and like I wish they showed more gruesomeness. And this being is it a rated R film? It's gotta be rated R film.
Yeah, rated R.
I want to say it had like nudity. Anyways, yeah, man, that was great. That was one great scene. I did like the artsy one that you talked about with that condo zoom out. That one was really nice, man. Cool. That was a top favorite. But I don't know, man. I like the progression of the movie for sure. I like how at some point, you ask who's behind that costume, right? At some point, the guy from 1992, I forgot his name. Tony Todd. Like I thought he was gonna make an appearance early on in the movie, but he didn't. Someone else kind of took on that role.
Yeah, it's like a younger version. Was it Coleman the Domingo? I think it was.
Was it? No, it wasn't. Yeah. He was the guy that actually. So Coleman Domingo, he's from Fear the Walking Dead. He's done a bunch of other stuff too, but he was a character that back in the day, the 1992 version of Candyman, he was a little kid that kept walking in on all this Candyman, shenanigans, if you will. Yeah. Where Candyman gets like pinned on for a crime that he didn't do, and he sees him get beat up by a bunch of cops, and like, so Coleman, he has a connection. In the movie, his name is William Burke, but he has a connection to Candyman in the sense that he's not extremely scared of Candyman. He more wants to like, he sees the bigger picture, and he wants to give Candyman like vengeance, even, for all the holy shit.
Kind of use him as a weapon. Like that's what I was kind of getting. It was like try to use Candyman as a weapon, which was very, dude. That was really interesting. Like I know, like Chicago Made Punk said it, like that ending
Yes.
That ending though, man,
Ooh.
like it was really, so I gave a quick breakdown to my girlfriend because she didn't want to watch it, because she didn't think it was a good movie, is because she thought it was gonna scare her a lot. So that she
Oh,
really doesn't
okay.
like scared movies, which is fine. So I kind
That's
of
fine.
tried to give her a quick breakdown of it, and like a
Mm.
quick like 2 minute kind of breakdown.
Yeah.
And I was trying to explain to her. It was like the ending was satisfying, but
Mm.
also upsetting at the same time.
Yeah.
Because you're like yes, but then you're like you had to lose kind of everything to get that, which kind of sucked, kind of
Man.
thing.
Were you
That was a good ending.
were you a fan of the artwork from the main characters? Kind of art shows?
Um, nah, it it's kind of like remember the cliche kind of drawings that
Mm.
people draw when it's horror. Everything's like really dark and circled, and everything's like it was like it was okay. There's that one scene though where he was drawing and it was just getting like possessed or some shit.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the? I thought that was, like I actually kind of laughed a little bit because he's like
Same.
his head's like shaking, and I'm like, what the hell is going
Reminds
on?
me of Sam Witwicky from Transformers when like he gets like the alien talk and he's like
Yeah,
starts drawing
yeah.
the alien language. Same thing.
Yeah.
Same damn
Yeah,
thing.
but like you said, like say, like it makes sense at the end when you
Mm.
know all the details, and you're like, that's why he did that because this happened, and you're like, but just in the moment, I was like, it was kind of like not funny, where the point you're like laughing, but you're like, what the hell? You're kind of like, it was just kind of weird, but
Yeah.
yeah, the main character, the guy who played Anthony, I'm not even I'll murder his name. Yeah,
It's hard, man.
yeah. I think it's yeah. But he's so good. He's such a
He's
good
great.
actor, though, man.
Yeah.
Like, especially in this one. I mean, he was in. I don't know if you watched Watchmen.
No,
Um,
I haven't watched one. Is this the TV show or the movie?
the
Have you
TV
ever seen
show, TV
the
show
TV
is
show?
amazing, and he
Mm.
plays a very, very important role in the TV show, and he kills it in there. He
Nice.
like kills it. He's also an Aquaman. He's the Black Manta, you know, um
Okay.
in there, which also great. I thought kind of great character that he kind of did. It was a little over the top, but whatever, it's okay. But yeah, man, a lot of the stuff he's in, he was in Us, another one, and Get Out, obviously. Jordan Peele likes to keep the same people in
That's
there.
dope.
But yeah, man, in this one he was really, really, really good. And it's just like, and as soon as I saw him, I'm like, oh yeah, he was in Watchmen. I was like, and another show that talks about a lot of, he was in the Trial of Chicago 7 as well. Another thing, Chicago with racism and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
Yep.
that yeah, I would recommend Watchmen if you haven't watched it. It's
Okay.
my girlfriend couldn't watch it because she said it was too real, like a little too much realism and too much real racism for
Oof.
her liking. But I
Yeah.
mean, it was really well
It's
done, and he's really well. He's such a great actor, and in this one, I think is his best performance.
mm,
I want to say this is his best performance that I've seen out of him. He was so good, so good. And I mean, he was the lead in this one. I don't think he's ever been the lead in any of the other ones. So this is his first time like being the main guy, being the lead actor.
pretty dope. I
So
think he hit out of the park, man. I know we'll get
yeah.
down to reviews in just a hot second, but what do you think of? So obviously, this one is written by Jordan Peele. Are you a fan of Jordan Peele's other films? Have you watched Get Out? Have you watched Us? Have you watched those movies?
I think that's all he did. Get Out is amazing. I thought Get Out was such a good take on something that was is like like racism basically,
Yep.
because it's kind of like he takes these things that make people uncomfortable, and he's able to like turn it on its head and make it scary.
Yeah.
So but it's like it's really well done. And even I was trying to explain Get Out to one of my friends earlier today. I was trying to explain to him, I'm like, what it is, and he's like, "Is it a comedy?" You know, because I'm like, it's like white people going in, their souls going into like, younger African American people, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Is this a comedy?" I'm like, "No, it's a horror film," and he's like, "What?" I was
Yeah.
like, "But you gotta watch it." Us, I didn't think it was that good. I think tried too hard. I don't know. It just didn't hit as well as Get Out did.
I
Still a good
agree.
movie, but Get Out was on a whole nother level. Definitely one of my favorite movies. Top 10 is probably Get Out, because it just
Nice. Yeah.
shit happens that you don't even expect. Us was kind of
No.
I don't know. What about you? And obviously Key and Peele.
Yeah.
He's Mad TV, Key and Peele. The guy is one of the funniest freaking guys ever. Like, I still,
Funny.
to my
Yeah.
friend,
Funny guy. Not scary
funny.
guy. He's a
Yeah.
hilarious character.
Yeah. Like, I still mess with my friends, because there's that whole bit from Key and Peele where they're like, look around, they're like, and I said, bitch.
I love that one.
Like, that's hilarious.
Oh, you said it? You
But
actually said it to her? I mean,
yeah.
yeah, I said, boo. Yep. So
It's
I'm a
like,
big fan of
yeah.
Key and Peele. I've watched his other two films, Get Out and Us, and I like both of them. Both of them, they're thinkers. They're the type of films that you kind of have to think while you're watching the film, and kind of right after, and it leaves you wondering, like, hey, like, what did I just watch? Like, was there a message at this film? Should I be communicating this to other people? It makes you think and want to have conversations, which I love movies that do that. Now, from those movies stepping up to this one, man, it's really tough to kind of rank them all. I kind of think Candyman and Get Out are up there, man, just for storytelling alone. We're great.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I can fully give him credit for this. I mean, he did a lot of the work, but he didn't direct it.
Yeah.
So, but I'm sure he was there a lot, because it was his production company. He wrote the screenplay, all that stuff. But I mean, Get Out was his like baby into. That was his first baby, like director, writing, everything, and he killed it with that one, So it's like, he already had credibility as one of the funniest guys, like, sketch comedy and everything right now. And then going into the horror film, but also like a social justice kind of woke horror film kind of stuff. Like, that just like, that was awesome. But this one, I don't know, like if he directed it, I would say definitely, but his production company, this is definitely one of the good ones. One of the good ones. Better than Us, I thought. Definitely better than Us. And also, let's not forget, he's married to Chelsea Peretti, which is another hilarious freaking actress. She's Brooklyn Nine-Nine, freaking hilarious. It's like, if they don't have the funniest kids, what was that?
She's the redhead, right? Isn't she redhead?
She's like brunette. Like a brunette.
Okay. I think what you're talking about.
Yeah. Cool. In Brooklyn Nine-Nine, she was like the not secretary. Yeah, secretary, kind of front office woman, that was always on her phone, kind of stuff like that. So she's hilarious. I always find her. But he does have another movie coming up called Nope. Which you don't see that much. All you saw was like the weird cloud on like above like a city kind of thing, and then that's all people saw. And like, I'm down. Like, dude hasn't messed up yet. It looks weird. It's just a cloud, So like, I'm all for that.
You see the other movie he's working on too?
But that's it.
Nope.
A little thing in there, a little cloud, and it says nope. Daniel Coulier, Kiki Palmer, Stephen Yeun.
Kiki Palmer, hey.
Yeah, I mean, those are great actors and actresses. So next year, we'll see how that comes out. But
I'm looking forward to another movie by Jordan Peele. Have you seen the footage for Karen?
I don't think so.
Yeah, Yeah, you gotta check that out, man.
Really?
Those of you watching at home, you know what a Karen is, right? In today's internet world, looking up the word Karen, he's directing a movie, or he's on this movie. I think it's also horror related, or like making fun of almost the modern day Karen. I'm looking forward to that one. It's gonna be probably really silly, and maybe he's just throwing movies at this point. But I kind of can't wait to get my eyes on this one.
I'm trying to look. I don't know if he in charge of it. They're saying it's a knockoff. They're saying Karen trailer has people comparing horror film to a Jordan Peele knockoff.
Maybe I got that wrong.
So is it somebody trying to do like what he does with the whole woke scariness?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, Karen trailer. Here's a Jordan Peele ripoff that no one wanted.
Oh, ripoff. Okay.
That's what somebody said.
So it looks really silly. It looks like it was gonna be a bad movie, but I kind of wanted to watch.
You want to see it?
Train go off the rails type deal.
Yeah, that's funny. So we'll get into our reviews in a second. So I think I know what your review is going to be anyway. Any bad things before we get into that? Any things that you're like, I wish were better?
I kind of bad things about this film. I liked the characters. I liked the setting. I know we kind of touched on this of him being the more like cliche, sensitive artist and whatnot, but I kind of wish his artwork spoke more for itself. That one art piece he did for the exhibit where he has like, an opening for his piece. It's like a shelf almost, kind of depicting what you went through in these project buildings. I kind of wish the artwork was better. I wish we would have had like well-known artists from around Chicago submit their pieces, and maybe they would have been featured here in this film. That would have been a nice little thing to kind of give back to the community, because that's one thing this movie does focus on a lot is community, amongst like-minded people, communities amongst the minorities. It touches on all kinds of community. But things that I didn't like, I wish they used more bees. I don't know. I wish that he got creative with bee killings. I know it's about the hook. I understand that. But I would have loved to have seen like a fatality off a Mortal Kombat kind of style, kill where bees just eat you up into a skeleton. That would have been nice.
Yeah, that would have been pretty cool.
Off the rails.
I mean, they really didn't have that many bees. There was always like a bee here and there, but like the big swarm of bees didn't really happen until the end of the movie. Right. Where, like you said, you weren't sure what Candyman we're looking at. You assume you kind of know, but you don't know for sure because they didn't show like who it was. But I think it was obvious, kind of who it was supposed to be.
Yes.
Also, real quick before I get into what I didn't like at the end when she was saying Candyman in the cop car, she said it 3 times, and then the 4th time, I don't know if it was just me. It was like she was like enjoying it, like she smiled, like kind of like laughed and smiled when she said it the 4th time, because the cop said it the 5th time. But but yeah, it was like she said it, and then she said it that 4th time. It was kind of like like smile, like I wondered, she was like knowing what was gonna happen and who she was gonna see.
I think she did. Because if you look at all the victims, right? All the victims that Candyman took in this film, just alone, right? You see that he was killing not, good black people. No, he was killing evil, white supremacist kind of people. So I think that's why she smiled. She was like, "Oh,
why would we say white supremacist?" Because there was the girls in the bathroom. I won't consider them white supremacists, but it was definitely white people. They definitely went for the white people to kill. I was gonna say it.
Yeah, anyone who kind of benefited from the systemic racism that we have put in place. Even if I know that these old white girls didn't do anything to slaves. I know that it's not their fault slavery happened, but they're also still enjoying the benefits and privileges that white folks still get to enjoy today because of
I do take that back.
People less
because they were picking on the girl that was
right?
in the stall who was a young black girl, in high school. So yeah, I guess you could say a little racist, kids and stuff like that. I don't know, but yeah, that was kind of true. But they definitely killed a lot of white people.
Yeah,
I'm sure a lot of people are gonna start bitching and moaning about that too.
Oh, I can't wait. The internet never fails.
Yeah, I know. But real quick, the one thing I didn't like, oh, now when you say I didn't like, I wanted more gore. You had the one scene, the first kill scene, which was super gory, and then it never really got too gory after that. Maybe at the end with when he killed the cops and stuff like that. That was kind of gory, but there wasn't a lot. I'm like, I wanted to see some more gore. I wanted to see some more there's the part where she's like, killing the one dude, the girlfriend. Was killing him, and they don't show. They just show her like stabbing him a bunch of times,
right?
But I just wanted a little bit more the gruesome murders.
Do we wanted like a page taken out of the Saw movie franchise, maybe something a little bit more like in your face, like gruesome? Man, imagine a hook ripping through like your face, like you get like hooked at the mouth and you just pull up and that would have been nice.
Yeah, that would you really use the hook.
I really feel like, and oh, by the way, Candyman, right? I'm not sure. Tony Todd has done a bunch of voice work very recently for Candyman, and hasn't put on the suit in a long time, so he's really just doing voice work. And so it makes me think like, hey man, has Candyman have a chance to be in video games? Has there been, from what you remember, do you remember any Candyman video games back in the day?
No,
Right?
It was I think Candyman was never big. No, I mean there's a bunch of different reasons I'm sure you can point at.
Of course.
But he was never like a big Jason or Freddy kind of thing, even though he was just as scary, but I think him being from the hood and the ghetto and being a black guy, I think, they're like, oh, we can't market that. I was like, okay, whatever.
I think you're right.
But
today he's got some like cult kind of popularity going on.
Yes.
And with more and more social issues being brought to light, and you think back on the Candyman storyline and all that stuff, it gets very relevant. So much to the point where, and if you know anything about me, I play a video game called Dead by Daylight, and it's a video game of all the Hall of Fame killers in history. You got Leatherface, Ghostface, Michael Myers, Freddy Krueger, the list goes on. Pyramid Head. So I've always been wondering, like, man, is he gonna show up in that video game? He has such crazy popularity, especially in the horror world. And so there's been many times he's been teased and like Tony Todd, which by the way, Tony Todd randomly just started following me the other day. That was cool.
No shit.
Yeah, he follows a couple of other people, but like I still felt special. I was like, man, to be part of this,
you throw the review up on Twitter, dude.
I think I am.
Or on TikTok. Did he follow you on TikTok or Twitter?
No, on Twitter. I don't even use Twitter. That's the funny part. But he started following me on there. It's probably his like social media team. But either way, he mentioned that he did some voice work for video games very recently, around the time where this movie, which actually got pushed back, when this was originally supposed to come out, I think last year or earlier. No, it has been last year or in the past couple years.
I think it was last year. It was supposed to come out last year. The trailer came out in 2019.
Yes. So that's when he was supposed to come into the video game that I play, Dead by Daylight. But then his stuff got pushed back. Then I think a bunch of other licensed stuff got pushed back. So then he never showed up in my game. I'm so upset. I wish he would come. I already know possible powers he could have. Sorry, I keep knocking this table. Possible powers that he may have, or Maury's, which are pretty much like fatalities for Mortal Kombat. Same thing as Mori.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have so many ideas. The whole community has
Dang.
amazing ideas for him. But
yeah, he definitely
I
go off
digress.
with that. That'd be good. But yeah, he's just got that voice, man. He's got that voice. They really didn't use that this much in this one. But yeah, man. Yeah, he's always awesome.
My favorite thing, before we move on to reviews, just a hot second. We saw Tony Todd in this movie. A little glimpse. I don't think we said it, but I think that was a cool thing to kind of give a nice homage to the OG Candyman. But they showed his face at the very end of this film, so keep on watching. Even the lice character, like silhouette looking, what do you call those things? Puppets. That storyline stuff that happens in the after credit scenes, those are nice to watch too. Kind of see some nice storytelling. As simple as it is, it's still nice to watch. But yeah, that was a favorite thing of mine. They showed Tony Todd. I was happy they showed his face.
There's no way you can have a Candyman or Candyman movie without Tony Todd being somewhat involved in it. But yeah, they did show him a few times. I think a few times. Could be wrong. But yeah. But cool, man. You were anything else before we jump in our reviews?
Nah, I'm ready to review this film once and for all. Slay it. Put this thing to bed. So here at the Spoiler Kings Nerd Huddle podcast, we like to review movies a really special way. So we either review this movie or watch now, which means you gotta watch this as soon as it comes out in theaters or streaming services, or watch later, which means it's not really worth your time right now, but you can catch it on the fly. Or we review this film or watch never, which means don't even give it time of day. It's not worth anything. But yeah, let's get into reviews. What do you think about the film? What do you rate this one?
Ooh, man. So if you've been listening to us talk about this one, this is a now for me, man. It was so well done. So well done. It was the scary was scary enough where I think it satisfied the people who love the really scary, and then also kind of was mindful of the people who didn't like crazy scare in it. I'm more of a guy who likes a lot of gore in my scary, and this one didn't have it. So if you're into, not a lot of gore, it's good. But just the story, the character development, the backstories, all the lore, they were able to put so much in the story without like making it be too much information at once. So it was just everything on this was the actors were everything was just so perfect. It definitely is a watch it now, man. I mean, I know a lot of people don't like going to theaters, so maybe it'll come out pretty soon in streaming, but I would recommend going to a theater and watching if you could late at night, see if you can get an empty theater. That'd be the best. But yeah, I liked it. What about you, man? What you think about it?
So reviewing this film, Candyman, Say My Name, the new 2021 film, screenwriting by Jordan Peele. I want to rate this one a now, for sure a now. I definitely agree with you. Character development, how much I cared for these characters, and how much it made me laugh and kind of had me in terror as well. Great story writing throughout the whole film. The lore was great. I agree. Everything you said was just right on the mark. Is a reason why you got to watch this one right now. And I'll watch this one right now. I'll watch it again and again and again and again, just because, man, you got to rep Chicago. You got to support Chicago. And this is one of those kind of movies where you kind of have to just give it time of day. This is one of those classics. Is it a classic right now, this exact movie? Not yet. It has, if they continue the same storytelling that they're going to be doing for possible sequels for this film, then this one could be in the Hall of Fame as well. I think so. I think it's that great. So you got to watch this one. Would you watch this one again?
Oh, for sure, man. For sure. I'll watch it. I'll watch it again. I want to buy this movie when it comes out. Chicago Made Punk said, watch it now. And even up here, she goes, oh my God, I loved it. So that's what she said earlier. And I agree. I loved it. It was just so good. So good. But one thing you said, like, it's like almost an instant classic. It's kind of like, but they were able to take a classic, like kind of a cult following kind of movie like Candyman from early 90s and continue it with this and kind of like adapt it into the now and day kind of stuff, which I think Jordan Peele does that amazing. Nia DaCosta like did an amazing job directing it. So I mean, it's gonna be. It was so good. It was really really good. But if you don't believe us, believe the ticket sales because man, this did really really well in theaters. They did 22 million in domestically and another 5.2 million international. Yeah, Jordan Peele and then Nia DaCosta. I guess she's also directing the Marvels, and the Marvels is the sequel to Captain Marvel, which would be awesome. So, and like we said earlier too, first #1 film in America that was directed by a black woman. That's huge, man. That's huge, you know. And you're talking about Jordan Peele already kind of like made his stance of like, hey, I'm a badass. And now, you know, so as Nia DaCosta, I think she's like, hey, I'm here too, you know. So
hell yeah,
I'm super happy for both of them. But yeah, I mean, it surpassed the expectations. Well, especially the expectations with COVID-19, especially with everything going on right now with other stuff. So I think their expectations are really low, and it I don't want to say it blew it out of the water, but for these kind of days, 22 million on opening weekend is really really good, really good. You know, so
little story about
here
Chicago.
goes. Yeah, I know.
Numbers like this.
Yeah. So you said Candyman, which is sequel, blah blah blah. Had an estimated budget of 25 million. So, you know, so that's not bad. 25 million it cost to make, and they made that in the first weekend. So it's all profit from here. So
hell yeah.
Is a Universal? Yeah, Universal Pictures, which that made because Universal owns a lot of the other guys, all the other scary horror guys. So you know, you want to see them in Dead by Daylight, it might be a good chance, man. You know, make a few TikToks. So let's go, man. Let's get the motion going. That'd be awesome. That'd be awesome. But yeah, man. So that's that. And then real quick on the Rotten Tomatoes, it is 85% on the tomato meter and 74% on the audience score. It is considered certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes.
All right.
That surprised you at all?
No. I mean, being like this, I want to call it a small movie because it's a movie in Chicago. Chicago's not really on the map like that, unlike a bunch of New York stories or a bunch of like LA stories or whatever. So some, some lore, really, Cat, a lore coming out of Chicago, it is amazing. You know, so to see that, it's surprising for me, but it shouldn't be surprising because of the work speaking for itself. If you watch this film, you'll see why it deserved all these great recommendations and reviews.
Yeah.
The professionals. What about the critics? What do they say, man?
Yeah. So here's let me find a few top critics. Here's one. The Observer UK said a smart, stylish, spiritual sequel, which I agree. Real Views. The new Candyman proves to be a worthy follow-up to its namesake, which is for sure. And this one, where was it? I was looking. Assignment X, which I'm not sure who that is, but I like their thing here. It says artful in every scene of the word, playing with imagery that might have come straight from Clive Barker. So, yeah, I mean, there's a few in here. This one from Salon.com, which that's considered a top critic, but I never heard it. I don't know. But she said you should feel something. That the overwhelming sensation provoked by Nia DaCosta's Candyman is numbness. Then is a problem. I was like, I don't think it's numb. You know, it definitely had its finger on the pulse of like making people really kind of. You weren't jumping out of your seat scared. I don't like jump scares, and this didn't have jump scares. It was scary because the story was scary. That's what I like. That's why. Like when anybody like being a jump scare is not a real scare. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So, so Victor Hernandez. Sorry if I'm late. But what was your favorite kills of the movie? So we can talk about it. You want to redo it real quick?
Yeah, sure. So for
Yeah.
me, myself, my favorite kill of the movie is towards the end when the girlfriend says Candyman 5 times, and then Candyman, the new boyfriend made Candyman, he just starts ripping up these cops with the hook, and just gets real graphic, and you can't see like the detail. And I wish, and I kind of agree with you. I wish there was more gore to this film, but that was just just desserts type of thing. It just it hit different type deal.
I like the way it was shot because it was all shot from inside the cop car.
Yeah.
So it was like, so it was like you saw from the front window, from the side window, like you saw everything happening. So I like how it was shot. It was, I guess that's why I like my kill scene too, because it was shot in a cool way where you're like, it was very unique. I liked it. And real quick, back to mine. Yeah, my favorite was when his lady friend or his friend, who was also female, not his girlfriend, when they were in the condo and he made her go say it, or you don't know if he said it in the bathroom when she went to go use the washroom, but you assume she did. He took off because he was all scared, something panicked him, and then it zoomed out from the condo, from all the windows, and you see her getting lifted up and getting all like murdered by an invisible kind of thing, and that I thought that was really, really cool. Really, really cool. But I don't know. Hey, Victor, if you're listening, man, what was your favorite kill scene? Because there wasn't that many.
Yeah.
There wasn't that many. By the way.
Yeah. Like, we definitely wished for more Mortal Kombat type killing fatalities, but
I said the bees would have been cool.
Yeah, right. A bee kill. That would have been great. Yeah. We only had one bee sting throughout this whole film. And it kind of like reminded me of Tobey Maguire's freaking Spider-Man, where like the boyfriend, the main character, McCoy, he gets bit or he gets stung, and then that starts the transformation. Physical transformation, I should say.
I didn't even think about that, but it is 100. They took the Spider-Man idea and turned it into.
That's what they did.
That's hilarious. That's hilarious. But yeah, man.
But done well.
It was.
It was done well.
That was funny. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, man, that's I think it from us for this week. For it. Yeah, dude. I don't know. Jordan Peele has not messed up yet. He just knows how to make good movies, and good movies that I know the companies love it because they're cheap to make and they bring in a butt ton of money. Like, I mean, Get Out was like what, like 20-30 million to make, and it brought in like bazillion times more than that. We even said $25 million budget. It made that in its opening weekend. So they made 27 mil, domestic and international. So there you go.
The art studio kills. Those are nice.
First ones. Those were really good. That was a good way to start the film. Let's not forget this is a Candyman film, and those are good ones. But yeah, very, very artsy in the whole movie, but it wasn't like up its own ass kind of artsy. With certain things. Sure. I think more subtle, which I like.
Man, what was kind of cool? One last thing, a kind of cool ass Chicago thing that happened in the film. So when he's doing his art exhibit in the very beginning, right, with that first kill scene, he starts to get drunk, right? The networking friend that he starts talking to, like, she kind of treats his artwork and kind of calls it cliche stuff. And he tells her off, and so he just gets upset, because he didn't network the right way, or it didn't go as planned, right? What he had going on, and so he goes up to his girlfriend's group of friends, who are all a bunch of snobs, and man, he treats the fuck out of them because they were like, "Oh, like how's your little art project going?" And he's just like, "Man, like you goofy ass mother." Like he starts bringing out that Chicago lingo, and that was dope. That was dope.
I didn't even think that's true. I did kind of get that Chicago kind of attitude out of him.
He said like it's a Chicago thing to call someone a goofy. Like I know they do that in New York possibly, but it's definitely a Chicago thing. That guy was a douchebag though.
Yeah. It was Victor was saying that guy was a douchebag, big time douchebag. He was kind of funny and a little messed up at the same time, because like at one point Anthony tells him He goes, "Oh, I was born in Bronzeville," and he's like, "The South Side is too cliche." He's like, I'm like, yeah. And then he kind of looks at him. He's like, "But that's where I'm from, or at least that's where he thinks he's from," kind of thing. I was like, "That's crazy." Where it's like just using him, in a sense, But even at the one part at the end where he's about to like have sex with his like girlfriend, and there said something like, and she says like, "Oh, love is gonna tear us apart." He's like, yeah. We all know you're a Morrison fan or something like that. It made me laugh. I was like, that's funny. Good. But cool, man. We've been going for an hour.
Yep, it's time to say goodbye.
Let's end it. Yep. So Spoiler Kings, we are part of the Nerd Huddle Network. Make sure you go follow the Nerd Huddle over on Nerd Huddle, youtube.com/Nerd Huddle. We just hit over 100 over there, so we get a lot of sporty kind of stuff, which is awesome, and some nerdy stuff. I guess we're considered more of the nerdy side of the Nerd Huddle. But tomorrow, Panda and Grizzly, they talk about Chicago Bears football, and they're going to get into a lot of the preseason week 3 stuff. Dynasty Pylon, another channel, make sure you follow them. They do your Dynasty fantasy football and your IDP fantasy football. So some hardcore fantasy football fans, if you like that, go follow those guys. Those guys know what they're talking about. We always praise Martin and Mark because those guys know their football stats, and they are great at fantasy football. So you want to win your league, those are the guys you want to listen to. Then Thursday, Did We Just Become Best Friends? That is kind of the main nerd one. We're there. It's kind of changing into trending more into like nerdy news. But we will probably still do some trending and stuff like that as well. But that's our trending and whatever is kind of like up and important going into that week. And then Sunday's Morning Spike. We do fantasy football, regular fantasy football, and all your NFL news. We do that in the morning, so you get ready for your fantasy football games that Sunday. And then right here, every Monday, Spoiler Kings. Next week, we are doing Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, the Marvel movie. I am excited about this. I got my tickets ready. I'm going. I can't wait. Oh man, it's gonna be the legit. All the early reviews are really good. Everyone's praising it. How much everyone likes it. I can't wait. So that's gonna be a fun one. I think we might get a few of the other dudes on here next week, which would be pretty fun.
That'd be cool, man. Brian, show up.
Yeah,
he knows what's up.
Yeah, oh yeah. Me and Brian been doing the last couple Thursday shows, and we get into conversations with all the MCU kind of news that are coming up, like all the What If stuff and all the Spider-Man stuff.
I need to catch up on that. I haven't watched a single What If episode, man.
They're good.
It's worth it.
They're good.
Watch them.
Yeah. They're like 30 minutes though. They're not like too long, but they're good.
Okay. They're
pretty good. Marvel's kind of like taking that away from DC too, with the animated part of the comic.
Yep.
DC was really good at the animated stuff. Like still are, but Marvel's coming after that. But yeah, man, that is it from us for this week. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you know when we go live, and come be part of the conversation. Like who's in here with us. Chicago Made Punk, appreciate it. Brian came in for a little bit. Victor, appreciate it. So if you guys you're watching this on VOD and you want to be part of the conversation, catch us live every Monday around 8 p.m. Central Time, and let us know what you think about the movie of the week. But cool, man. Anything else before we sign out?
Nah, just don't say his name 5 times. Don't do it.
Don't do it. We warned you. All right. Later. Wait, what we do right now? Candyman.
Candyman.
Yeah.